Ooh, I miss your kiss. Oh, your kiss is one of a kind. It feels so nice. Girl, you do it right. I miss. Ooh, oh, girl, you don't go too fast. You take your time. Just how I like. I miss. Ooh, hey, oh, you kiss it, then I'm drifting off your love. Keeps me floating, girl. I miss. Oh, and ooh, it feels so good. I wanna come down. Girl, I'm missing that love. Come on. Ooh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. Oh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. Come on. Oh, when you're not around, girl, I'm tweaking. I swear I be hearing things. Oh, yeah. Oh, and if I cannot have you, girl, I'm fiending. Oh, that's such a talent you bring. Yeah. Oh, and day is too long. If I can hold you in my arms, if I can find a real good love. Ooh, that kiss is a drug to me. Baby, your kiss is all I need. Come on. Ooh, it feels so good, baby. Oh, come on. Ooh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby,
Hey friends, this is Dr. Tanksley. Happy Sunday, and welcome to another episode of Inhale, Exhale. I am so happy today. Y'all see Danny back in the studio. Look, and she's sitting in my seat, so I'm trying to adjust my mic.
Hey, y'all, hey.
So, hey, friends. Hey, I see Tiger Lily is watching. Welcome, our favorite friend.
Yes, hey, friend.
Yes, so this is Inhale, Exhale. Oh, I figured it out.
Look at you.
Come on now. Just
Step
pull
out
it
for
down
2
a little
seconds.
bit.
You done figured out everything.
You know,
Holding it down.
That's how it goes. So we're your health homegirls. Yeah. I'm Dr. Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Time.
And we are so excited that you could join us today for another episode of Inhale, Exhale. We're going to stop for a second, take a moment, take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You going to lead us in?
I'm just going to breathe.
You're just going to breathe? Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Let's breathe.
I told you that's like euphoric to me.
Yeah, I feel real good. I feel like...
Like I'm just going to sit in this breath
yeah,
for
I
a
was still
second.
in it.
I'm just going to
feeling
sit here for a second. But I hope you guys are all taking your deep breaths and inhaling and exhaling and getting the stress of the week off of us. Yes, and as we get ready to move into a new week, as we are always so happy that you guys join us on this new week. So, Danny, I'm excited you're back.
I'm happy to be back. I'm excited. You know, I got the little jitters. I'm all excited to be in a new space.
Yes. So how was your week? And how did you
good.
make it happen that you are back with us in the studio?
You know, I've been feeling good. I'm feeling good. The baby's healthy. You know, got the milk on deck, so we good. And so I wanted to step out for some air, you know, get a little self-care Sunday going on. So it's good to be in another setting and back with my people, you know. So
Absolutely.
that's how we got that going.
Good. And as always, you guys, you can check us out every Sunday at 5 p.m. here on What's in It for the Black People Media. We are so excited. I'm always excited, right? Because that's just how I am. I'm always excited.
Is good.
It is. It's better than not being excited, right? Being disappointed. So I actually had a pretty good week. It was busy as ever. Pretty productive. I got a lot of things done.
That feels good.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't see, I was with the governor the other day.
Pop your stuff. Go ahead.
You know, so
Do your thing.
it was good. You know what? It was so exciting because it was good for healthcare this week.
It was good.
It really was. The state of Illinois signed some legislation this week that is going to give more money to community health centers. And just with everything that COVID exposed as far as the racial disparities that have been around forever that we were not addressing, I think this is just amazing legislation that's going to put some money in the clinics and in the health centers and hospitals and yada yada. So I got the esteemed honor to go to the signing of that bill at the Loretto Hospital this
Look at
past
you.
week. It was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Pop your stuff. Go ahead. That just feels good.
It did, and I just was sitting there as actually the only physician that was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a lot of really important people, but none of them were doctors,
Including you. Look
Except,
at that.
hey now,
Speak your
so
word.
so it was good to be able to advocate for people, and you guys know that I'm always advocating for us. So so more to come from that, and I will always keep us updated on what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And congratulations on that. Being in that setting, you belong.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was good. It was good to give the little speech and just thank them for the money. So I'm just waiting on the money now. Look.
Where the money resides.
Look, like everybody waiting on their stimulus check. I'm just waiting on the money to come on to the clinic. Yeah, no. So anyway, so that was my week, and
Great
glad
week.
that great week for healthcare. So I am really excited that we are today gonna continue on in our March Madness.
Yes. All about the men. March
Yes.
Madness.
And it's so, it was so dope last week, I think, to be able to just kind of set the stage about where, kind of where men even are right now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited this week that we're going to be talking with Jay.
Yes, I'm excited to talk to Jay too. And if you guys need to catch up on last week and the week before last and all of that, go to the page, check out the video, share, tell a friend, because it is some good information here. Free game, okay? You ain't got to go to the doctor for what we giving you right here.
That's
So,
exactly right. No, you're so
no
right,
appointment
Danny.
needed. Just come check in.
And
Boom.
no insurance needed.
No insurance needed.
That's
This
so
is it.
important.
important.
Because so many times people are like, oh, I wish I did know a doctor. I wish I did know somebody to ask.
Health home girls, we right here.
All
Holla at
day?
your girls.
Not all day, but every Sunday.
Yeah. On Self-Care Sunday, we're trying to help you out.
Absolutely.
Inhale, exhale.
Look, the rest of the week we're actually working too. So
Mm-hmm.
the insurance is needed then. So you better get it free on Sunday.
But not right. On Sunday, we got you.
Okay. So tag a friend, share the video, like the broadcast, go to What's in It for the Black People Media, like that station, go to the Inhale Exhale page, join the group, all of these things. Stay
All of it.
connected with us.
Find us. Look for us. Hold
Yes.
us down.
All right, so we're gonna keep it moving today because,
Yes.
as I mentioned, we have an extremely exciting guest with us today,
Very
and
excited.
I am going to attempt to put him on the screen. Actually, I'm not going to attempt to put him on the screen. I'm going to ask for help. And as I'm getting help to put him on the screen, I am going to read a little bit about his bio, because this is one very dope brother that's coming onto the stage with us.
Yeah.
So we are bringing up Jay Show, and Jay is actually Jay Show is his tag name, but his real name is Jay Sturdivant, and he is a young man. He's 38 years old. He is a father. He is a martial artist. He is also a personal trainer and a physical fitness motivator. He's worked in home care as a supervisor in the home care setting, and he has been a Buddhist for the last 3 years. He teaches meditation and breathing exercises, very appropriate for
Yes,
inhale, exhale.
Extremely appropriate.
As maybe he might teach us a little something.
I got some questions. I'm
I-
ready.
look,
I'm ready to learn.
Free. Okay. And he also teaches about chakra healing and alignment. He uses sound healing with Tibetan singing bowls. And as I mentioned before, he uses Kemetic Tai Chi. So I think I'm going to have to find out if he's taking new people on, because I need a dojo. And I'm so excited to talk about him because so many of the things that he does overlaps in in healthcare as well too.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna unmute
Mhm.
Jay
Hey,
and his
Jay.
amazing bio.
What's going on, ladies?
Yes,
Thank y'all
welcome
for
to the
having me.
stage.
Yes, thank you for
Thank
joining
y'all for the
us.
audience for viewing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's now who made that bio? That sounds good. I like
Uh,
that.
Just
we
some
we
That
might have
dude
loose,
just
sound
you
pulled a
know.
couple
phenomenal.
things, you know.
That dude sound phenomenal.
He pretty dope or whatever. No.
So, Jay, welcome to the Inhale
Thank y'all.
Exhale
Thank y'all.
stage. Yes, yes. So we are super excited. I read a little bit about your bio, but I really want you to give us a little bit of background about you. You know, you can
Absolutely.
not necessarily the things from your bio, but how did you even get into this space, or what's the story behind that?
That's what I always want to know. How did you get here?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like how most things have a beginning to it, and I wouldn't say too much of an end because I plan on doing this till I get up off this planet. But I did go through a lot of things. I didn't too much have a phenomenal childhood like most kids in black communities. Their mothers and fathers weren't able to afford to go to certain martial arts classes or basketball or whatever. But I was lucky to have certain individuals around me that have not been in my family, and they pushed me to be what they saw a great martial artist within me. It was a passion for me. My father was a Marine combat vet of Force Recon. That kind of started from him. And then my uncle was a Golden Gloves boxer here in Chicago. And I felt like I might have taken some of that genetic, from them, combat warfare, and then boxing. I kind of combined that, but that also led to me starting martial arts at 6 years old, where my first studies was in African martial arts. How ironic was that? And ever since then, um, I just took it on from there real serious, like to a point where it actually improved my confidence. I was able to walk down the street. I'm from the west side of Chicago, so if anybody from west side of Chicago growing up in the early 80s and 90s, it was pretty rough back then.
Yes,
Especially
indeed.
with them trying to push you to join gangs. Um, so I'm not going to talk about that too much, but I'm just talk about the actual positive aspect of how it started at 6 years old up until now I'm 38 years old.
You
Uh,
know, I'll
I
say
didn't have.
real quick, Jay. I think
Mhm.
I definitely want you to stay on the positive and those kind of things. But I
Yeah, of
think that
course.
makes a huge, I think that's a huge story in itself. The fact that using
Hmm.
something like martial arts allowed
Hmm.
you to be able to stay on a positive note and not,
Yeah,
kind of
Given the
succumb to the
circumstance.
streets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um,
that. Mhm.
excuse me. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm
Go ahead.
coughing. I don't have anything. I just got a little
Just a
tickle
little
in my throat.
coffee.
That's why I got some water over here. But I do, when as you continue talking, I do want you to speak just a little bit
Yeah.
about what African martial arts are. You said that was, it was ironic. That's what you were first introduced to, and I will say that's not something
Yeah,
I'm too
Yeah, that's
familiar
no,
with.
that's new to me as
yeah. Because
well.
most. Thank you for that question. I've never had anybody ask me that when I bring that up, but most people when they engage to martial arts, ask anybody. 90% of the time, they are familiarized with what the Asian martial arts, karate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but a lot of us in our community with this skin color do not realize that the martial arts started with us in Kemet. Okay, and we're talking about literally almost 400,000 years ago. Um, all of the Japanese, all of the Asian martial arts, all of that stuff derived from what they call the Manchu arts. Wrestling, boxing, everything started with us. And I really highly believe that ancestors are around us everywhere we go. They're following us, they're guiding us, and sometimes we'll go through things that will allow us to actually open up the darkness into the light within us. So, but sticking with the martial arts aspect, I didn't think about this at 6 to 14 years old before I branched off into the Asian martial arts, and I saw there was a complete difference. Um, I did feel more connected with myself training in the African martial arts. I felt more free because there wasn't any type of set movement. Everything was like broken rhythm. It was mainly you're learning. They wasn't forcing you to kill your body, to like really damage it. Like you see in most karate movies, they hitting boards and I, later on down the line when I took up the Asian martial arts, I kind of went into that field. But um, I'm going to say this: after taking martial arts for a few, after taking African martial arts for a few years, going into the Asian martial arts, and then going through the things I went through, and it led to the spiritual breakthrough to Buddhism. It led me back to the African martial arts. And when I say it's totally different, I'm more calm when I'm training. When I'm training people, it's not aggressive. Uh, I have more patience with people and as well as myself. Um, and it allows the history aspect, which is already programmed in our DNA, to come out more. So sometimes I read books, but sometimes it's already, but like I said, it's already in our DNA and already come out to me, out of me naturally to tell people that you want to flow according to the way your physicality is built.
Mhm.
Asian martial arts don't care about that. They want you to do exactly how they want you to do, how they want you to do it. And this is why most black martial artists have double hip replacements. Their shoulders are messed up, fists are messed up, their mentality is messed up. And it's because everything is about hard aggression. And that's one of the aspects I want to get to about mental health as well, for
Yeah.
me and the
Before
physical
you
Well,
health.
before
I was
you
gonna
It
say,
all
yeah,
derives
before
into
yeah.
that.
before you go any further, I wanted to jump into that.
Hmm.
You spoke about a lot of things, the spiritual, the mental health portion, and I
Yeah.
know with any like art, discipline is a big
Hmm.
thing. So I wanted you to speak to how that has contributed to your mental health. And you said that your the spiritual training, the difference with African, like what's the difference, like what is the difference besides the physical aspect, what is the difference spiritually where you felt connected and you felt like it contributed to your health mentally?
Well, um, it was real easy to pick up on that information, that spirituality with training in the Asian martial arts versus the African martial arts. Um, it was more so, again, I didn't feel connected to myself. I didn't feel like that the movements that was taught to me by my ex instructors, it was connecting to my spirit where I felt like I was confident enough to go out there and do tournaments, or I was confident enough to protect myself on the street and others that might be around me that can't defend themselves. Uh, I wasn't taught to meditate. Most you see all in the movies that the Asian martial arts that they're teaching their students to sit there and be humble. That is in real life. No, that's not reality. They don't teach any of those things at all. But they teach you to be more aggressive. They teach you to be more hardcore, especially as men. Everything is about macho, being really highly macho and aggressive. Um, and I didn't really add this other part of my background. I used to be a Chicago housing police auxiliary officer. When I tell you that the things that I've went through in the street, before I even got connected to Buddhism, is where I was kind of bringing that energy home. I didn't know how to leave work at work because I seen so much going on with mentally ill individuals that's swinging knives back and forth, threatening to kill their family or themselves. So I had my first introduction with dealing with mental health with males and females out there that I was pretty much arresting. And I got tired of that. Eventually, after 4 or 5 years, I felt like I was everywhere I go. I'm looking around. Feel like my guard is always up. I feel like I'm always about to fight someone. I'm replaying or creating images in my head to what's going to happen if someone does this. And it had got to a point I just really got tired of doing that. So one day I just prayed about it. Didn't really know who the heck I was praying to. Thought I was praying to somebody up there, but somebody heard me, and it got to a point where I found a new instructor. Even though he done Asian martial arts, within that Asian martial arts, he had a background of meditation. My
Let's talk
ex-instructor
about
was the one. Yeah.
let's talk about
Hmm?
meditation a little bit. Like, why is that so
Yes.
important? Can you break down what meditation is and why it was so beneficial for you?
Now, you know what you guys were just doing in the beginning when y'all was doing the inhale and taking the
Mm-hmm.
breathing, and that's exactly what meditation is. It's the breathing, it's the resetting yourself, it is aligning your chakras, and it's seven chakras. And they all start from the bottom, from the root chakra up to the crown chakra. Okay. But meditation, as what you was asking about, really, really brings in your energy to a point where everything that you dealt with on the outside, like work, sometimes your children, family members, or whatever, you don't have that time to take that inhale and exhale. You don't. We only have, we're actually 12 hours of the day where we're, 9 times out of 10, we're pretty much challenged with our emotions. We're challenged with our mental stability, how we deal with things in those aspects. So meditation doesn't have to be performed for a very long time. But just like what you guys perform, that's phenomenal meditation. Just inhaling, exhaling, get that old energy out of there, get that negative energy out of there, and to reset yourself and go back out there and attack the things that you need to attack in a power with positive energy. And that's pretty much all meditation really is. It's not a super scientific understanding of how to do it. You don't need a master certificate to understand it. You don't need to be around a lot of gurus. But once you get the understanding on your own, and that's why I tell so many people, most of my martial arts students and personal fitness clients, I tell them, I said that it's already within you. It's already within you. Once you cut the lights off, close the door, block out the sound, that's when your meditation begins.
Yeah.
Your meditation begins. It's already within your DNA. It's inside you already.
And I'm glad
And
you
it's
said
very
that because
important.
we titled the show "The Fight Within," and I wanted to talk about the importance of. I know when you think about fighting and martial arts and things like that, you think about the physicality of it. But I wanted to talk
Hmm.
about the importance of the discipline of your emotions and how that
Hmm.
helps you get through the day, and how controlling your emotions or having that mental care can help you fight off in whatever, because everything, the fight isn't always physical. And so, like you said,
Oh
getting through the
no.
day with family and the stresses of the day, a challenging position, how important is
Hmm.
that inner peace and that emotional discipline?
Well, most of us weren't taught to on how nobody's not taught to, oh, if a family member says this to you, you're supposed to do this and that. Or if you're going through being bullied in school, which is how some of us have grew up in schools where we was bullied, and that actually gets programmed into your psyche to a point where you feel like you have to be always on guard. You get into relationships, same situation. Someone do you wrong, you don't know how to let that energy go. Meditation allows you to just really reset and reorganize your mindset on things that you're facing. Um, in everyday life, you not saying that every day you're gonna not go through anything that's gonna be uh, in a negative. What I always say is negative energy, because a lot of people are negative. A lot of people do not know how to organize their mindset to come to you in the correct manner. Some people don't even know how to greet you. So you have to be the one stronger within yourself. And that means that yourself, inside yourself, have to be reorganized. Uh, in order for that to happen, you got to face your old self from the past so you can be better in the present. And that's not an easy thing, but you got to want that change internally. And I tell a lot of people about my own self, so it will help them feel more captivated to change into their higher self. I'm not going to ever come off seem like I'm a perfect individual because no one has a perfect background. There is a, a stairway to uh, higher enlightenment within yourself, but you have to let go of the past. But in order to let it go, you got to face it. You got to accept and embrace all the things that you do not agree with yourself. In order for you to even be in the present time, face the past and then leave it there. And that's one step, is facing the past. The second step is embracing it and organizing it. The third step is moving it to the past where it belongs. And the fourth step is being in present time. Um, once you understand, once you have gotten those steps out of the way, then you can attack the things that you want to be far as successful, be a business owner, be a medical this, police officer that, whatever you want to do in life, you can't be those things if you're still stuck in the past. You can't meditate and teach meditation and any other thing on a positive note if you're still stuck in the past. I know from my personal aspect, I was really mentally messed up to a point where every time I went to work, I let work get on my nerves and I bring work home. What they say. You complain about work all the time. You're not you don't know how to leave work. That's true. Some people do not know how to leave work at work, and some
Yeah.
people don't know how to leave home at home. It's because it is one thing, their emotions. They don't know how to control their emotions. Emotions is really two words. They just took the rest of the words from energy out. Energy and motion is what we have not been taught. Some of us have not been taught growing up. If you do not know how to control your emotions and balance your emotions, therefore you cannot attack the things that you need to, that's been thrown at you negatively. Um,
I
and that
think that's an
also,
interesting concept. Energy in
yeah,
motion. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I really want you to. So, just so you
I
know,
want to ad lib on that. Yeah.
yeah, I want you to, because we have about 4 minutes before we go to our break. And on the other side, I really want
Okay.
to dig into like how you work with men with this and how you,
Hmm.
the clients and things like that. But if you could talk and just kind of go ahead and dig a little deeper into that energy and motion, because I will say I am a big energy person myself, and we talk about chakras, we talk about,
Hmm.
if you're in the African side of things, you talk about orishas and just various different energy sources, and I
Ogun and yeah.
exactly, and I'm always trying to help people to understand that energy, as you say, it's not, energy is not, it's not destroyed, right? And so energy is one of these infinite things that just continues to circulate through this universe. And so it can be positive, it can
Hmm.
be negative, and it's all about how we channel it and how we're using it
Yes.
for the way that it manifests in our life. And so if you could just, that was profound, energy and motion as emotions. I will honestly say I have not heard that before. So please talk a little bit more about that.
That's, well, I can't take the credit for that. I'm going to say that the ancestors gave me that one through meditation.
Okay.
Energy and motion. As a man, I'm speaking from a man's point of view. Okay. Again, this goes back to where I said that we have not learned. Some of us have not learned how to control our emotions when we're facing certain things in life, whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's a relationship or whatever. Okay, energy and emotion is, if someone is something attacking you, instead of responding, you react. And my ladies, y'all know how most of us men are, that do not know how to control their emotions. Energy. They throwing stuff, they hitting things, they want to grab people, they want to destroy, they want to become destructive. Actually, we should be the opposite of that. We should be able to take that same energy, respond to the energy. For an example, um, most people, they said someone said something stupid to them. Instead of jumping out of your body saying you MF this and I'm gonna jump up out of my seat and I'm gonna start doing something, you just look at them. This is just an example of what I'm talking about with energy and motion. You just look at them instead of being the aggressor. You be the one that reverses the energy. You try to bring that negative energy into positive. I know I've been there before. I used to be that individual where every time someone said something to me, what you say, what you say about this, and you get the cussing and all of that type of stuff. You want to get up and fight, and then I notice every time I've done that, I got myself more into trouble, or people didn't want to talk to me, and or family or whoever, they didn't want to be around me because they felt like they couldn't talk to me in a matter in their way without me getting upset.
Exactly.
And I start understanding the energy aspect as far as the motion, because now I'm separating the two words. The energy, I was wasting a lot of it with me getting upset, me hitting things or whatever. Every man has done that to a point where they're feeling tired. And I used to ask my students this all the time when they didn't do something right and in the form of something that I showed them. I was like, why you doing that? Why you pick that up? Man, I don't understand why you so calm. I said, I'm calm because I am one with myself. And there's no need for you to be acting like you out of your body for no apparent reason. You don't have to react in that particular way. We have learned to react versus respond. And that causes mental issues to a point where you cannot allow yourself to organize what you need to mentally. Motion is consistently going back and forth from using the negative and not so much as the positive, but a little bit of positive. You try to think about doing it the positive way, then you go back to it because that energy is so easy to be attached to. You see what I'm saying? So energy and motion for me is, and what I teach other people is that you have to captivate your inner abilities and emotions. I'm sorry, your inability and energy to bring it as one and not dispute that energy out in a negative way. Because every time you do something negative, especially for yourself, you ain't have to I don't have to say to any other people, but the moment you start doing things to yourself, that energy is thrown back to you 10 times more than you have dished it out. And the universe does not understand the difference between negative and positive. Whatever you putting out there mentally and whatever you putting out there verbally is going to come back to you. So that's another form of energy in motion. We have to be very cognizant of how we using that energy mentally and verbally. Because like I like that you guys said that it's not always about the physicality, but it's more internal. And it all starts up here. If you already thinking negative, then the universe is going to give you what you're looking for. So a lot of schools, a lot of martial arts dojos really do not teach to balance your energy. They say it's okay to do this, and when it's really not okay.
Right.
You do not want to be going out there talking to everybody like you a police officer.
Exactly.
You,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And I've been there in that area before where again I have had people in my personal life say, "Man, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
ain't nothing wrong with me.
But
What's wrong with
it's
you?"
that energy. You're absolutely
It's
right.
that, yeah.
So Jay, I on that note, I want us to take a quick break, and we'll come
Hmm.
back on the other side. And I definitely want you to tell us more about choosing a dojo and what that means, and dive deeper into this martial arts and especially
Yes,
the
ma'am.
comedic aspect. So on the
Yes.
other side, we will see you in about 2 minutes.
All right.
WIFTBPN. Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, hosted by me, Tennille Jackson. Today's guest will be Beulah McLeod. It's not 2021 that this is getting fixed. Focus on your child and let's figure out what's going to work individually for you, but respect that people are making for them and don't shame them for them.
Everybody makes different choices for different reasons, and you don't know what somebody's situation is. And equity is not giving everybody the same thing. Equity is giving everybody what he or she needs to be successful. If you want to do remote should be high quality. If you want to come back, it should be high quality. It's not necessarily about the mode of delivery. It's about what is the quality level of any of those particular modes. We have to have empathy. Right now, I can see the teachers' argument. A lot of them are scared. I get that, right? I get the parents' argument. Everybody experiences that level of, I don't know how to help my baby with this thing. So parents are frustrated. We gotta just try to see each other's perspective, and I don't think we do enough of that. I think we get locked into our own viewpoint. This is what I think, and that's just it, and that's why we can never get to a solution. We need options, because everything is not going to be good for everybody.
Oh, you proved me wrong. This ain't a regular love, babe. It's that waking out your sleep with me massaging your feet, babe. It's that anything you want, I'm only here to please you. Until I met you, and I don't know if it's real or is it just a phase I go through, but I feel that it's true. We don't need no labels, babe. What we got is something different. We don't need no labels, babe. Lady, we don't need no labels to show that what we have is something special. For sure, for sure. I don't feel it's a one night stand. No. It's that look you in your eyes, make love in paradise. A one life stand. It's that sweep you off your feet, give you everything you need. That's what I'm feeling. It's that don't pick up the phone, cause we wanna be alone. And I never thought I'd feel this way, then you came along and proved me wrong. Oh no, I never had an interest in love.
Hey friends, welcome back to Inhale, Exhale. I am your health home girl, Dr. Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Tan.
And we are glad that you could join us again today. You guys, it is an amazing time in this studio on the breaks. Let me just say, I'm figuring out technology here. I got my guys in the back rooting me on. And so, yes, Danny, I'm so glad you're back.
Yes,
for
I'm
these
glad
shenanigans.
To be back. I'm glad to be back because I see what's going on here.
It's always shenanigans in the background. However, I thank you guys for joining us, and we are talking with Jay, who is a martial artist, and we were talking on the other side. Hopefully, if you didn't hear his bio, I'm gonna encourage you to go back to the beginning of this show and when it's all over, and just listen to that as well, because Jay is amazingly talented, has had a scope of martial arts throughout his life, starting at 6 years. So he's got 30 plus years of experience in this space, and was talking with us about his journey and how he's kind of gone through this. And so, Jay, I wanted to come on this side of the break. We've got about, usually when we come back from break, it seems like things go so fast because we have about 25 minutes on the other side. I know. Time flies because we are, this is
y'all a whole
entertainment.
vibe, this music.
Ah, yes, yes. Look,
I'm
and
used
just
to that.
FYI, we do like to highlight local talent here at What's in It for the Black People Media. So if
Okay,
you know people who want to put their local talent out there, we're always accepting and looking for
most
new
definitely,
artists. Yes, y'all gonna hear
most
Dr. Tanksley
definitely.
one day.
Period. We
Might
might come in here and lay down the
rip the
track.
mic. Y'all gonna be like, "What, Dr. T?"
I
Okay,
guess
so
I'm gonna be the background dancer.
Thank you,
look, you'll be
boo.
back there doing some martial
Thanks,
arts. That'll be
Tiffany.
kind of dope.
I, you know, some tutting or something, you know.
Yes. So Jay, I wanted to just rewind a little bit because I think we didn't get to hear all of the information about kind of how you
Hmm.
got into this space. And so I
Hmm.
wanted to just let you go ahead and finish that conversation because I think it's important as we talk
Hmm.
about men and men's health and you were mentioning like you found a good teacher and those kind of things. But I want to go way
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
say let's talk about like where you were and what space you were in that even, I know you were young at 6, but I'm sure you see some young men. You mentioned even as you got older, you could have
Hmm.
chose the streets, you could have chose different ways, but you didn't. You
Yeah.
chose this. And I just want you to kind of speak a little bit about that and how, finding a good teacher was important.
Yeah, phenomenal question again. Naturally, as a young boy growing up in the black community dealing with gangs, um, being a part of it, it just wasn't for me. I didn't. I felt more like, how do you stand on the corner all night and don't do your school work like you're supposed to, and smoke weed all day. To each his own with that. I know most people do that, so I don't want nobody to feel like I'm hating against that. But it just wasn't for me. And I just felt like I guess you want to say the correct terminology would be a loser,
Right.
a follower, all of those good things. I didn't feel connected to myself. I felt like it was more to me than to be sitting there trying to sell weed and sell drugs and sit out there gang banging, throwing up signs all day. Um, that it just wasn't for me. But by the time I realized that, I was 18 years old. I had my first job at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, working down there with rich individuals. So my mindset started really changing with uh, being connected with people that had like way more intelligence and knowledge on how to be a better person. And I needed that because from 6 years old up until 18 years old was very rough for me,
Mhm.
very rough for me. I didn't have, like, again, I didn't have that moral support from my parents because they was going through what they was going through on a mental standpoint. And that's why I felt like at some cases I had a struggle or lack of knowledge of how to be a man, how
Mhm.
to uh, how to deal with myself and my whoever I'm dealing with in relationships,
Mhm.
friendships, schoolmates, jobs. It was just everything was just completely off. So I carried on with this attribute, mental attribute, for I say from around that time of 18. Well, I'm gonna say 6, then 18, and then up till probably like my early 30s. When I started working for Chicago Housing Authority, when it seemed like more stuff was just packed onto me. You know that old saying when they said, when you get tired of being sick and tired, you will find a way to
Mhm.
change yourself. So basically,
Tired of
that's
being
what
sick and
happened.
tired.
Tired of being sick and tired of complaining, tired of feeling like I just didn't have no organization about myself. Seeing like I allowed everything that come my way, I'm attacking it and not attacking it in a positive perspective. So this is where I needed to get back into the dojo because I was out for a while. I was always at work. Um, Now the question you asked about finding a new instructor and that guided me to who I am today. Well, this story led up to why I was being sick and tired of who I was as a negative individual. Um, Again, sat there one day by myself when I used to smoke, when I used to drink, and I was overweight. I wasn't looking how I'm looking now. I was about almost 300 pounds, sitting there trying to chase somebody with a gun and vest on. Uh,
Really?
and then at the time I thought, yeah, I'm sick. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm 6'4". So, thinking I was all there in the bag of chips, then I honestly can say that uh, behind closed doors, I was not happy with myself. I was not happy with the confidence. I was not happy with how I dressed because I had a big stomach and my stomach was sticking out, or whatever the case may be. My face looked so round. So I felt like I was searching for someone or something that would help me guide the Jamal back to happiness that I haven't had in a very, very long time. No balance. hmm You
I'm
about to
sorry,
ask a
Jay. I don't
question?
want. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut off, but I don't want to miss this point. You
hmm
just said that you were not happy with yourself and that you wanted to find
Yeah,
something to help you. I think that's a huge awareness, and we spoke on the
yeah,
last show about how sometimes it's hard for a male to express emotions
yes. I remember
openly.
that. Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
talking about that, I just want to kind of draw back into the whole march of men. How would you speak to another
hmm
man to come to that space of knowing, like you said, gangs surrounding you. You could have chose any other route, but you chose something,
hmm
a positive outlet. How would you reach another man to say, hey, this is an opportunity, or this, I found this to be helpful for me mentally, physically. I found this to be a space. How would you advocate to another man who's having that awareness or that moment of I'm not happy and this is a positive outlet? How would you do that?
First off, and I'm another good question. I'm loving these good questions here. Uh, uh, First off, again, I'm gonna use a personal example. I deal with a lot of men. Some of them don't live here, and some of them do live here. Um, I'm able to attack their mindset in a way where they'll already come to me and they'll tell me, they say, hey, man, I see how you deal with this and I see how you deal with that. I'm having an issue with my relationship. I'm having an issue with stuff that's going on at the job. I'm not sure how to deal with that. I feel like there's so many avenues for men unknowingly out there for them to be comfortable enough to come to another male for that type of help, where you have to actually put yourself out there as that guide, as that mental guide, as the mental spiritual guide, as I would say, um, and to attract those men who are having problems with wanting to be a better them, but they're afraid to. And I've always been able to, at the time, once I've got to that level, is to allow them to embrace what they don't like, face what it is you don't like about yourself mentally and physically, put it all on the table. You already harnessed it enough. So now it's time for you to let all that go in a positive manner. Where do you see yourself in the next few years? What do you want to do? And I start asking these questions to will them in, to want to allow them to feel more comfortable with me. And I always tell them, I say, I'm just like you. As a man, they need that support. A lot of men, and I'm speaking from a personal aspect, it seemed like there was no support. There was nobody teaching me anything on how to be a better me. It seemed like more people was taking from me than adding to me. And that is what's going on even up into this generation, presently speaking, is that especially with the young generation, the teenagers, oh man, especially with them, they feel like there's no avenues. There's that nobody, no other men out there care for them. So personally, I've been putting myself out there. If I see that they have an issue, I'll present myself to them. Say, hey, young man, or hey, my brother, depending on if you my age or a little bit younger, I see you going through X, Y, and Z. What's going on? I say, hey, I introduce myself first, let them know that I'm nobody that's on a negative point. I don't want to take anything from you, but I'm just willing to help you. I see you having an issue, a hard time dealing with something mentally speaking, and it allows them to feel more comfortable to say, hey, man, I ain't think nobody out here care. I swear, man, you know, if I can count on my hands and feet how many times uh young men and men my age, if not older, will come to me and say, "Hey, I really appreciate you talking to me," because it seemed like again, they all say this, and then from that, it seemed like nobody cared.
Yeah.
That's very important.
I'm glad you
That's
mentioned that
very
because
important.
that's actually so true. As I sometimes will see, especially younger men, and they're what I'm gonna call them men, but they're still in their teenage years, right? They're
Right, right,
13, 14, those kind of things. And these young men don't see themselves even alive at 20, right? That's not something that they even see as an outlook for their future. And so
right,
being able to address them, reach them early on, I think is so important.
right.
Where are some of the spaces where you can, where you do this or that you do this outreach?
Well, it's funny. When I asked the ancestors to put me in a position to use me as a guide, it's mainly out when I'm walking around. I'm going to the store. I'm going shopping. I swear, in the middle of me going shopping, there's somebody that'll walk up to me. They'll notice certain medallions I have on, and then it lead from a compliment to, and it somehow it leads to something what they're dealing with, what's going on in their life. And I tell them, they was like, man, I don't like X, Y, and Z. This girl broke my heart. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be okay, man. Tell me that. I asked them their story. That's to bring them down when I feel like they about to go from 0 to 100. No, let me stop you before that happens, because we have not been taught. When I say we, I'm talking about my gender. We have not been taught how to embrace our vulnerability, and this is where the understanding of masculinity comes in. That we have been taught to always walk around here and be hard all the time, and that's not the way you want to roll as a man. You are a king, you are a god, you conduct yourself productively and positively. You do not go out here and disperse your energy in a negative way because you cannot find out the solution to solve the problem. And that's what caused most, from young men to older men, that carry on that same attribute from younger to older, where they feel like they can't express themselves, or they feel like if they tell a woman more about their how they feel towards them, they're weak, and that's not masculinity at all. Uh, in order to connect to the femininity, you have to be you have to learn how to embrace your vulnerable side. Not saying that everywhere you go that you have to be so vulnerable to a point where you're telling all of your feelings. That's not what I'm saying. There's a time and a place where you have to do that, and there's not many outlets that uh, even even in before the COVID and stuff happened, those off the street clubs like they used to have on the west side, the Boys and Girls Club, they don't have any of those groups where they're teaching young men how to be young men, not on the physical standpoint, but on the mental standpoint. It all started up here first.
Yeah.
How can I reach my adulthood as a man uh uh in a more safer way, rather I got to go to jail first, then learn to be a better man. And that's not, and it's been actually happening a lot. Something happened to them, and they feel like they just thought that it was okay to be in that darker side of themselves, to go rob banks, go rob people, go shoot people, steal cars or whatever, because they don't have that
Role
mental
model.
escape.
Right, right. Or
You
yeah,
know what
that
I'm saying?
escape. Hmm.
It right, it's right, and role model escape is all the same. They don't have it. They don't have it. I know from a personal aspect, I was pretty much lost. I thought, uh, I was over vulnerable in my relationships and allowed myself to be more susceptible to unappreciative women. I'm not the first or the last man that been through that.
Right.
uh, I was not confident. I was more of an introvert than an extrovert. So I'm the complete opposite now, because I went to go look for help. I went to go look for help in another martial arts instructor.
Absolutely.
And I got tired of being all of those things. I didn't, I had a spiritual out of body experience one moment. It was like one day, a year prior to that, and I just said, "Wow, that's me. I respond like that, and I react that way." Uh,
Jay, I
I
want
didn't
to
like
ask
my
you.
attitude towards people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know.
sorry. I just wanted to ask you, because we only have like
hmm
about 2 minutes left, and before we get out, I want to know how can our viewers or other men find your platform? Like, how can they take part in your services?
I think you got to be walking down the street.
Well, he
No, no,
teaches.
no.
I'm just,
You know what?
he did
I would.
say.
You got jokes. I'm gonna say I can give you the platforms. My Instagram is Comedic_Fitness LLC,
Okay.
and my Facebook account would be JJY Unpu ANPU. Those are the platforms that I use for most of my clients and most of my martial arts comrades and or family members and friends will pretty much contact me on. Uh, but
And
yeah,
you are taking on new
I'm
clients.
yeah, I'm always taking on new clients. I'm always taking on new avenues as far as um, helping to improve other people that are lost and trying to improve themselves. So that's the whole purpose of me being in this position that I'm in right now, is to help other people who had a problem with trying to find a new of them.
I'm going to say
And
real
it
quick.
takes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You say that. It takes what?
Yeah, it takes the what I was saying earlier, that it takes yourself to really face the old you to become the new you, and it's got to be what I said earlier. It takes that to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's only when you're tired where they say the teacher finds the student. That
That's
is
right.
very true, and that's what happened to me.
I think I might have found a teacher. I'm gonna look you up. I've been looking for a Tai Chi dojo for a minute,
hmm
and I'm gonna say honestly that there is a lot of synergy between what you're doing and what one of our guests last week, Dr.
Yeah.
Cartman. If you're not familiar with the Corey, we gonna have to make a connection here because they do a comedic yoga, and just like you said, so much of our
hmm
history has been taken and placed in other cultures throughout
Yes,
the world, and we
yes,
don't even realize or recognize the connection that we have with all of this self-healing that belongs to us, that
yes,
started with us, right? And I
yes,
think that
yes.
one of the missions I have in medicine is always to help people. Even though I'm a Western
hmm
trained physician, I'm always trying to get people to get back to the connection of their roots and how that plays a
Yes.
role in the health and wellness, and even the way that we live, right? When you are living
Yes.
out of synergy with the way that, as you mentioned before, your DNA is structured, then you have dis-ease because there is no
Yeah.
connection,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm always trying to
Yeah.
help people get back to that connection. And part of that is
hmm
our cultural connections and our spirituality. And so this has just been. I'm just, man, the madness is great. The March Madness is
The
gret
men are
because
coming through,
you guys
dropping
are,
those gems.
man, coming through with y'all muscles popping and all of those things. And I just think it's amazing to hear your story, your
hmm
transition, your weight loss journey. Like, I could find a million things to talk to you about,
Yeah.
even though we're out of time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to have you back at some point
Mm-hmm.
because you just, maybe
Oh,
we can do a
phenomenal.
session. Right. Look, we could do a session or something and show folks what Tai Chi is about. I always tell them when you see like the Asians in the park doing those really slow movements,
hmm
often that's kind of
Yeah.
what we think about with
But they
Tai
got
Chi.
they got that from us though.
Yeah.
They got that from us.
I can
Again,
only
I don't care
imagine.
what. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. I
especially how
don't
you
care
were
what
saying the
martial arts is
flow.
out there. hmm
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, no. I was just gonna say,
You
like,
know
especially
all.
how you were saying the flow and like the
hmm
rhythm. We're such
hmm
rhythmic creatures
Yeah.
that I could imagine that most of
Oh
that came
yeah.
from us. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
on that note, I'm gonna give you the last 30 seconds to say your last whatever it is you want to say to our audience, if that's wrapping up,
Okay.
and any of those things, and then we'll wrap up and get your info out for folks.
Okay, what I want to say is that um, on the mental standpoint, if you having an issue and if you feel that you not able to succeed in the matter that you would like to, do not be afraid to reach out. A part of mental and physical health is to be able to face your negative side to get to your positive side. Do not be afraid for change. Yes, it's a challenge. Challenges are not going to be easy, but you're going to have to learn and be open to want to change to be a better you. There's going to be people like myself at Comedic_Fitness LLC on Instagram, where you can connect to myself, and I will be more than happy to guide you to a better, higher you, so you can be a more confident and more productive individual. And that's what my mission is while I'm on this planet, is to help those, guide them to a better them.
Amen. And on that note, we are going to say sign off and say thank you
Thank you
so much.
Yes, this was great.
Thank
Yes,
y'all
we
for having me.
appreciate you. Absolutely. And looking forward to all that comedic martial arts has in store. And I'll have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
post
Yes,
my
ma'am.
first session.
True that. We'll be
Yes,
looking forward
ma'am.
to that.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get it.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
All right.
All
To all
right,
our
ladies.
deep breathers, we will see you guys next Sunday at 5 p.m. for another episode of Inhale, Exhale, where we'll continue our March Madness next week with a little panel discussion
Yes.
with our resident barber,
Barbershop
and
talk.
DJ. It's going to be a whole barbershop talk. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great one.
All right, y'all.
Justice I need, the is you give now. Please don't.